I'm Sam. I'm 17, and for 3 years of my life, I went through a difficult stage, and yeah, between the age of about 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's why I'm here, I guess.
Climb is all you know. When thought is not below us, no can go up, and that iron ground.
Probably started with you know, when I was in year 7 or 8, 13, got diagnosed with depression after going through a dark time of not feeling worthy, and lots of things building up, and I just it was a numbness, that I felt I wasn't connected with anyone, having an impervious nature of how to express myself. Everyone in my eyes thinking that everything I was saying, and whenever I tried to express myself, and everything surrounding me had an insipidness about it. Feeling that I wasn't understood, which is no one's fault, but it was overwhelming, and and it built and built and built, and through my silence and lack of communication, and everything, getting too much, because that is what it boiled down to. There was other components, obviously, but it ended in me thinking that there was no way out, that I was trapped in this life. I was the furthest thing from happy you could be. I didn't see any other way out. I didn't feel loved, and that's not because I wasn't, and that's not because no one expressed it to me. It's because of this bleakness that was that I was suffocated by. Was kind of the reason I saw no other way out. And year 8, came home, and it's weird that those years I don't remember anything. There's some vital moments I do, and the only things I do, I was in my room and I was fucking breaking down, and I tried hanging myself from my bed, and I was there with the chair at my feet, fucking about to go, and then my sister came in, and fucking yeah, and it's yeah, and that's maybe the peak of the struggles that I had in those years, and that's kind of what it climaxed to, I suppose. Seriously, I genuinely appreciate it. Yeah, genuinely.
How have you managed your mental health over time?
Talk, man. Honestly, that is what it comes down to, because you feel like there isn't anyone to talk to in those situations. You really, really do. You feel like the walls are closing in. You feel like there's no way out, and you're just overworked, and you're being held down by all these fucking ton bricks, like constantly feel like you're lugging around this weight, but talking to someone allows you to take the bag off and take those bricks out. This mental weight, this mental struggle, is this weight that you're carrying around, and this weight that you're carrying around can get lighter and lighter and lighter if you just offload, if you talk, if you open yourself up,
Yeah.
and make yourself vulnerable, and allow yourself to do that for the greater good. You know, that it's so important, but it's also important at the same time to take a step back.
Yeah.
You know, while you're feeling all these things, you know, because in the moment it can be the smallest flicker of things, and you go, fucking hell, this is the worst, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm stressing out here.
Yeah.
But if you take a step back, think right, take a few breaths and step back and go, that's what I was worrying about. That's it. But it's also important not to belittle what someone's feeling, because you do get an overbearing sense of, if I tell people why I'm feeling this, they're gonna go, and
Yeah.
you know, that and that's a struggle as well. That is something that you know, really like it impacted me,
100%.
and maybe made me not talk as much and openly about it, and maybe that's why I was lugging weight around for longer than I should have been, because I was scared. But it is so important to talk, you know, and people will listen, because when you're in that situation, you go, no one cares. They do, they really do, you know, and that's something I struggle with, you know, the fact that I was so blind to my mum's help, my sister's help, my dad's help at times.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I had so much help around me, and I was fucking bulldozing it away. No one cares, but they do care. And the sooner that you realise that, because you have this cognitive dissonance, you know, in inside of your mind. On one hand, you're like, fucking hell, these people really do care. On the other side, you're like, no one cares about me. It's all too much. My life's horrible. And at that time, it does feel like you know, you're oppressed by bleakness and numbness, and it's hard to break out of. But the sooner you break out of it, the sooner you come away, and that side of the cognitive dissonance wins, and you go, people love me, you know, people care about me. As soon as that wins and you break free, that's the first real step to getting somewhere. And when you're in that moment, the real first step is wanting help. You know, there was times where I don't want any help. I'm just gonna get through this on my own. I'm just gonna, you know. But wanting help and recognizing that you need help as well, so important.
How do you recognise when you need to take care of yourself emotionally?
I think that for me, it was just a feeling of drifting away from everyone, from everything. You know, but before I had friends all over the place. A popular guy I am, but I honestly, it was a feeling of just drifting from everyone, from everything, and you know, not really having anyone close to me, not really feeling I could speak to anyone, and that kind of thing, and just getting that feeling of the luggage that you're carrying around all the time. As soon as you start feeling that, because people do feel that you can recognise that. Sometimes it's hard to recognise, and sometimes you think, I don't need any help, it's fine. But you can recognise it after a while. You can recognise that you're lugging this around and it's hard. You can recognise that it's hard, that just life gets hard. And I think that's when you can recognise it the most, when your daily life is fucking hard. You know? So, yeah.
What do you do when you feel overwhelmed?
Masturbate, usually. Relieve myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it's just taking a step back, and that is the essence of it, really. Just taking a step back, because you don't make any good decisions when you're overwhelmed. You just don't. You're just climbing down into this dark black hole when you're overwhelmed, and the lower you go down, the harder it is to climb out of. So to climb out, you just need to take a step back and really understand what you're overwhelmed about, and just work your way through it. You know, just pick it apart and go, what are the solutions I can implement here, and you know, what can I really do about this? It's going to be proactive instead of just getting overwhelmed and just breaking down. And I'm not saying you can't just you're not allowed to mope around and go feel sorry for yourself. Of course you can. That is sometimes good to do, but as long as afterwards you can take proactive steps into sorting out the problem, then you know that's that really. That's also important, right? Recognizing that you need to change as well. You know, talking to everyone is great, right? It's so important. It's imperative that happens, but it's also being able to recognize in yourself that you need to change things in your life to get somewhere. You can't just keep on living the same way that you are and expect to go anywhere. So yeah, and the motivation to start that change is fucking hard, but it's so important and it's so necessary to get anywhere. So yeah.
Okay. Well, what advice would you give your younger self as well?
I don't know about advice, because I think that the personal journey that I went on myself has changed me as a person in a good way. But I think that I would just tell myself until I was blue in the face, until my younger self believed it, that people love me and people care, and they do. For anyone that's going through it, people love you and they care about you. They do, and it's so hard to see that sometimes. And people might not portray it in the easiest way to understand, but it's true. They really, really do, and they care. And it's so hard looking back now. That's the hard thing, you know, looking back and seeing what I put my family through. And I'm not saying it's selfish for anyone. I'm saying the furthest thing from it. But I also think that, you know, to understand the impact on your family and your friends is also important, because, you know, to imagine my mum, you know, screaming in my face telling she loves me every day, and me just not understanding, and that block being there going, you don't, is so hard, and you know, must have been so hard for her. So yeah. Appreciate yourself, you know, love yourself, because it's so important, because you can get wound up into a stage of just fucking hating yourself, and it's such a horrible place to be. So appreciate yourself, appreciate the life you have, and appreciate the people around you, appreciate the people that love you and will be there for you and will care for you even when you don't want it, you know.
Where the doors are moaning all day long, where the stairs are leading from dark to dawn, where the windows are breathing in the light, where the rooms are a collection of our lives. This is a place where I don't feel alone. This is a place that I call